Okay, students, this time we're going to make the morphological analysis for the Turkish language. Remember what I told you in the previous video? You need to make comparisons between the different words that you have in both languages in order to find the meaning of the morphemes in the given language, in this case, Turkish. Okay, here we have a list of words in English that you need to find the corresponding structure in Turkish, okay, which represent the same word in Turkish. Ocean, ocean. You need to find the morpheme representing ocean in Turkish. How can I find the structure representing ocean in Turkish? Well, what I told you is that you need to make comparisons and you need to look for the expressions that contain that word. In this case, you have an ocean, you have to an ocean, you have of an ocean. Then if you look at the words carefully, you can notice that what they have in common, what these three words have in common is the word Deniz. Okay, Deniz here, and also here Deniz, Deniz. Okay, and the other expression is denizim. What they have in common is deniz. So that means that an ocean or ocean in Turkish is the word deniz. So that is the answer for the number 1, deniz. Okay, now the next word that you need to find is house. Is house, right? House. But you can go from the simplest to the most complex. In this case, you have a combination of preposition, the article and the noun ocean. So that means that in this case, E represents what? 2, because it is the only word that you need. An ocean is Deniz, and E logically is 2. So you can write it here 2. It means E in Turkish, right? And what about the other preposition in? What is in Turkish? Well, not E exactly, it's of, okay? Of is in. You can see it here. In is of because an ocean is deniz. So logically of in Turkish is in. So you find of and you write in. Okay, now you can continue. As I told you, you can go from the simplest to the most complex. Okay, now you can find the meaning of the word house or the structure that represents house in Turkish. Now you know that 2 is E. 2 is E, so you color it E or you cross it out. E is 2, and logically you know that a house in Turkish is ev or ev. Ev. So house in Turkish is ev or ev, okay? Okay, let's continue analyzing. Now you are going to find, let's see, let's look for the structure that represents from in Turkish. From, here you have it, from. So let's make the comparison. Now you know that a house in Turkish is ev, right? So a house, you have these two words. A house in Turkish is ev, so you are going to color or cross out the morpheme f. So that means that in Turkish, from is what? Then. Is then, because it is the only morpheme that remains there if you remove the morpheme f. So from logically is then. So you can see here that you are finding the different morphemes following the tip that I gave you, which is to look for the different structures from the simplest to the most complex. Now you have ocean, you have house, you have to, you have from. Okay, let's continue analyzing it. Okay, you have from. Now you know that from in Turkish is then, right? So you color then, okay, because from is then. House, how do we say house in Turkish? House, remember, is F, okay, F. So that means that little in Turkish is jik, okay, little in Turkish is jik. So little is jik, okay, and you continue analyzing this way the different structures. Now you have here the expression in a little ocean, in a little ocean. So you are going to find the structure representing in Turkish. You know that ocean in Turkish is deniz. So you cross it out or color it. Okay, deniz is ocean. You know that little is jik. Okay, jik. So that means that in Turkish is D or de. Okay, so now you have the morpheme for the word in. So in is de. Got it? Now you can continue analyzing it. Now you know the meaning of in Turkish. In is de. So you cross it out the, and that means that hand in Turkish, or a hand in Turkish, because we don't have a singular marker in Turkish. Now you know that hand in Turkish is logically L. Okay, L. So now you have found the other morpheme for another word. Hand is L. Got it? And let's continue analyzing it. Now you can see that another word is tooth. And where is the word tooth here? The word tooth is here in number 12. Dish means. But you can notice here that you only have the meaning for of. How do you say of in Turkish? Remember? Of is in. Of is in. So you color in here, but you can appreciate here that you don't know what is the meaning of d, she, im, is. So you don't have enough evidence to discriminate the word tooth in Turkish, right? So you don't have enough information to know what is the structure representing tooth in Turkish. So you can leave this word tooth to find the answer, to find the structure at the end of the analysis, because it is complex. You don't have enough information to know what is this, or what is this morpheme. So let's analyze another word in Turkish. Okay, let's see. How do you say plurals in what is the plural marker in Turkish? Let's see if we can find the answer now. Okay, what can you do? Okay, let's find, or let's look for the morpheme representing the possessive pronoun my. Why my? Because now you know that hand in Turkish is what? Hand in Turkish is L. Okay, L. You see here, hand is L. So if you know that hand is L, you can analyze this word perfectly. because L is hand. L is hand. So that means that my in Turkish is im. So my in Turkish is im. Now you have the morpheme represented mean in Turkish. Okay, we only need plural, the possessive pronoun are, and the morpheme representing tooth. So let's look for the meaning of the plural marker in Turkish, or the structure representing plural in Turkish. Let's see if we can find it now. Okay, what do you need to do here, or what do you need to compare in order to find the morpheme representing plurality in Turkish? Okay, you have to look for a singular word and a plural word. In this case, we have it here. We have hand is singular, right? And you have hands, which is plural. So you know that hand in Turkish is what? L. Hand in Turkish is L. So you are going to color this L here because L represents hand. One hand, singular. So that means that the plural marker in Turkish is L-E-R. L-E-R is a plural marker in Turkish. So the plural, you are going to write here L-E-R. All the words that contain that morpheme, L-E-R, that indicates that that word is in plural. Now let's look for the meaning or the structure of the word our in Turkish, our. So let's look for some expressions that contain that possessive pronoun. Okay, we have 4 expressions here. We have of our tooth, of our teeth, in our oceans, in our little houses. Now you know at this time you know that of in Turkish, how do you say of in Turkish? Okay, of in Turkish is in. Is in. Yes, you have it here, in. And how do you say, well, we don't know how to say tooth. So let's continue analyzing the number 15 and the number 16 because we know how we can say oceans, ocean, and we know how to say plural, how to mark plural in Turkish, and we know how to say in Turkish. How do you say in Turkish? Let's see, in is de, right? In is de. So I'm going to color this one in. Okay, and how do we say ocean in Turkish? Ocean in Turkish is deniz, right? Deniz. So I'm going to cross it out, deniz here. And it is not only deniz, but it is plural, oceans. And how do we mark plurality in Turkish? Remember? Plural in Turkish, we mark it this way using the morpheme L-E-R. So that means that L-E-R must be removed or deleted or colored, however you want. So that means that our in Turkish, okay, let me color this, is in oceans. So that means that our in Turkish is imiz. Imiz is our in Turkish. So imiz is our. Okay? Imiz. So if we have that information, we can easily find the rest of the morphemes. Okay, we know that in Turkish is D. We know that little in Turkish is what? Is cik, right? We know that house in Turkish is ev, and we know that plural houses, the plurality is marked using the morpheme ler. Okay, let's color it. And we see here that our is imis. Okay, so we know now that our is imis, but let's look at this carefully. We can see here that in is inside the possessive pronoun imis. So there must be a rule here. So when you combine prepositions with a possessive pronoun, the preposition is going to be inside the possessive pronoun. Okay, iminis. Okay, when you have that combination, you are going to write it this way: inside, imis. Okay. Okay, let's see the expression 13. Of, how do you say of in Turkish? In, right? Okay, in. And our is imis. Imis is here, but it is combined with the preposition imis. Okay. Okay, so that means that dish in Turkish is tooth. Dish is tooth. So that means that dish in Turkish is tooth. Okay, tooth is dish. And you also found that teeth, you see here, teeth in plural is dişler, right? Dişler. You have it here. And in this way you can find the rest of the answers to the different morphemes, the meanings that they have, okay? The representations through the different morphemes. And in this way you can find the other morphemes. For example, if you analyze this expression, to a little hand, you know that hand in Turkish is L, right? Is L. You know now that little is cik, and you know now that two in Turkish is E. You see? Everything is completed. Everything is logic. Okay, let's see the other question. It says, what is the other order of the morphemes in a Turkish word in terms of noun, plural, marker, etc.? What is the order? What is the order? Okay, let's take this expression. In our little houses, what is the order according to this? Okay, you can see the houses is if. So that means that in Turkish you first are going to find the noun. Okay, noun. After that, what do we have? We have cik. And what is cik? Cik is an adjective, little. So next, after noun, you have an adjective. And what else? What do you have? What do you have after the adjective? You have ler. What is ler? What does it represent in Turkish? Remember that this represents plurality, okay? So this is the plural marker. After the adjective, we have the plural marker. What else? What do we have after that? We have imis. What is imis? Imis is what? A possessive pronoun. Imis is a possessive pronoun, possessive pronoun. And what else? What do we have after the possessive pronoun? Okay, uh, let me reduce here. Oh, sorry, I can't. Okay, and after the possessive pronoun, we have the preposition, in this case represented in D. So after the possessive pronoun, we have prepositions in Turkish. Okay, this is the representation. This is the order that we find in Turkish. Okay, the next question is, how would you say of our little hands in Turkish? How do you say that if you know now the meaning of the different morphemes? You know that hand in Turkish is el, right? El. How do you say little in Turkish? You know that too. Okay, little in Turkish is jik. Is jik. So after el, you are going to write jik. Our. How do you say our in Turkish? Remember, our in Turkish is imis. Imis. So you are going to write imis. Okay, imis. What about of? Of in Turkish is in. In. So let's write. Okay. Of in Turkish. Okay. Yes, of our little hands. So in here. But there's a problem here. And what is that problem? What is that problem? The problem is there's no a problem. The thing here that you need to remember that I told you that when you combine preposition with possessive pronoun, they need to be combined. Okay, they need to. You need to find. You need to have the preposition inside the possessive pronoun. So you are going to put in inside iminis. But there's still another thing that you need to pay attention. Hands is in plural. And how do you mark plurality in Turkish? Okay, using what? The morpheme ler after what? Okay, plural marker is after the adjective. So that means that after jik, you are going to write ler. So that is the way, this is the expression that you use to say of our little hands in Turkish. The other question is, give the English translation for the Turkish form dişciklerden. Dişciklerden. What is, so you are going to do this from the back to the beginning. Okay, then, what is then in Turkish? Then in Turkish, then let me see. Okay, let me see. Okay, here we have a mistake. From is then. I don't know why I didn't write it. Okay, let's see, let's analyze it. Yes, remember that a house is F and then is from. So I didn't write here then. So then in Turkish means from. Okay, so the expression is dişciklerden. So we are going to write first from. And what is jik? Or what is ler? Ler represents plurality, right? But we cannot pluralize anything here because we don't have the noun. Only nouns are pluralized, okay? Jik, little. Jik is little. And dish, what is dish? Dish is tooth, right? Tooth or teeth in this case because you have ler here. Ler represents plurality. So dish plus ler is teeth. From little, sorry, from little teeth. So that is what this expression means in Turkish. From little teeth. So those are the answers for this assignment. I hope you have understood this. Remember that if you have any question, please let me know. Okay?